This is Getting Past It, where real life meets real growth. I'm JR, and in 10 minutes or less, we're tackling thoughts, habits, and truths that hold us back. Let's get past it together.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Getting Past It, the podcast. It is another Tough Truth Tuesday. I'm glad you're tuned in for episode 23. Today, we're going to talk about stop negotiating with your old self. A lot of times, we continue to negotiate with ourselves when we're trying to move forward in the things that we want to accomplish in life, when we want to reach our goals. And we keep holding on to our old self. We're holding on to old habits that keep us in the same cycle. The things that don't help us progress, help us move forward, help us stay focused and motivated on the journey. We tend to lean back on those things that we have previously done, hoping for different outcomes. And most of the time, 99.9% of the time, the outcome does not change because we're doing the same things. The same behavior, the same attitude. Maybe we're inconsistent. Maybe we don't think through the process enough or do the research and the work in order to be successful at whatever your goal is that you're trying to accomplish. And continuing to just look back at what we used to do does not help us move forward. Especially when you're not doing anything in those reflection moments to make changes. Growth requires sacrifice. And as we've talked about in previous pods, everybody can't go and every habit can't go. There are some habits that we need to cut. We need to break those habits in order for us to reach our goals and obtain the level of success that we want, or to reach wherever it is we're trying to get in this journey. Things have to change. We have to change. We have to change our habits and how we go about our day to day in order to get better. You can't just stay in that hamster wheel expecting it to take you somewhere else other than in a circle. And so with that being said, sometimes we've got to break habits staying up too late. Might need to start going to bed early to make sure you get the necessary rest to show up as your best self. Getting up a little bit earlier in the morning so that you're not just walking into work, wiping the coal out of your eyes, feeling lethargic with no energy. Maybe you need to implement a morning workout to help get those endorphins going early. Or maybe even an evening walk to clear your mind from the stresses of the day. Sometimes we have to recalibrate what we're doing in our daily lives to help us advance. And on a personal note, for me, right, I don't know if you can see my stomach, but it's not big, but it's not small. It's somewhere in between. I call myself, I guess I'm average, but I want to get rid of this stomach. And one of the things that I keep negotiating with myself on is waking up earlier so I can work out in the morning. And I always say, nah, I'm not going to do it in the morning. I'm going to do it in the evening. Then the evening comes, I might go for a walk, might lift a few weights, but it's not super intense and it's not consistent. And I'm not reaching my goal. I'm not reaching my objective because I am not taking the steps to do what I need to do. I am leaning on old habits and doing things that I've always done, which are not helping me progress to get where I want to be. Right? Now, getting up in the morning and working out may give me an extra level of energy. It may have me show up at work differently. But until I start getting up and doing those things and getting in that groove to see how it feels, I don't know. From everything that I've heard, workouts in the morning are awesome, especially when it comes to setting the tone for your day. And that's something that I want to get in the habit of, but I keep negotiating with my old self and I keep losing the negotiation. And by me losing the negotiation with my old self, I'm not moving forward. Another thing of note is that you can love who you were and still let that person go. There may be things that you love, going clubbing with your friends, being out partying all night, a lot of those different things. But sometimes you have to let that stuff go in order to step into the new you. You have to get past your old self to get to the new you. You got to go through it to grow through it. And it's not always going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. You're going to have moments of relapse where you find yourself doing those old things. And that's okay. Because none of us are perfect and it's hard to change. But you have to be consistent. You have to continuously work at it and also give yourself grace, but not so much grace that you're not doing the work. You have to be real with yourself. Let today's version of who you want to be take the lead. Stop letting the old you lead where you're going. Let today's version of who you want to be take the lead. Really focus in on what you want to accomplish, who you want to see in the mirror, and how you want to get there, and start consistently building the habits so that you can reach your goal. For me, I'm going to have to start setting an alarm clock and not just rolling over when it goes off, but actually getting up, putting on some clothes, putting on some sneakers, and going to the garage to get that workout in. I don't even have to leave my house. I just got to go downstairs. But it's the laziness of it all. It's also the habit that I've been in to get up, go downstairs, drink my coffee, sit at the table, talk to my wife, watch some news, but not actually get any exercise in. And so for me, I'm no longer negotiating with my old self. Starting tomorrow morning, I'm going to be focused on the new me and letting the new me take the lead. And it's going to be hard as hell. But, like they say, nothing that is worth it is ever easy. It requires work. It requires discipline. It requires dedication. And sometimes a little bit of pain. But in order to reach my overall objective, these are things that you have to go through. And what are you willing to do to win? We talked about that before. And part of what I'm willing to do is stop negotiating. I might even do a short video in the morning when I wake up going into the garage. It's not going to be the prettiest and I'm not going to look the greatest because my beard probably won't be combed. Because it's going to really be roll out the bed, put on some shoes, and hit the treadmill and lift a few weights and get something in to get that early morning workout in. But what do you need to stop negotiating with your old self about? I want you to take some time and think about the negotiations that you have with yourself. And think about the things that are in the way of you making progress and ultimately becoming the person that you want to be. Having the success that you want to have. And then once you've identified those things, start thinking of what do I need to do today to get me where I want to go. And as you think through that and you put those things in place, focus your mind on consistency. Consistency, even when it doesn't feel great, even when you don't want to do it. Because the results don't always come overnight, but they do come. And sometimes it just requires you to continue to work. But with that being said, this is another episode of Tough Truth Tuesday, episode 23. I'm your host, JR. Thank you for spending some time. It's Getting Past It, the podcast. Subscribe, like, tell a friend to tell a friend. Check me out on all podcast platforms. I see you watching. Hit that like button and share. Peace.